Hey, welcome back to Actually Let's Talk About It. If it's your first time, welcome. I'm your host, Ayanda. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Whether you're cooking, whether you're cleaning, showering, driving, on a plane, honey, whatever postal code you're in, thank you so much for tuning in today. Today is a bit of a vulnerable episode. Oh my God. I'm talking about myself and my personal experiences. I don't know. I'm yet to think of a title for this topic, but I just hope some of you resonate with what I'm talking about. Shout out to my neurospicy listeners. Woo! Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us are undiagnosed. And the reason why I'm saying shout out to neurospicy listeners, a lot of people have been complimenting the sound of the podcast, that it sounds very good. Yeah, it sounds very good, yes. But also, I just removed the background noise. That's all I did. I just removed background noise, sound, music, because that's what I used to do last year. I used to just layer the podcast with music and just, to try and serenade the listener. But people actually prefer this. Just raw, honest, no music, just me yapping away. So shout out to y'all. And people who prefer that are usually... Anyway. So I want to talk about how I have gone through this journey of pouring into myself, which is something that I really struggled with for a very long time. And I don't know the discourse between being a people pleaser and a person who just cares for others, who cares too much, right? Because I feel like being a people pleaser is you worry about people's perception of you, so you do things to please them or impress them at the expense of yourself. So I don't know whether it's the same thing as me just overextending myself. I don't know. Let me know in the comments or in the discourse, but maybe I might be using those terms interchangeably. I don't know. But like I said, I've been in a season of recovering or pouring into myself, and I've realized how important it is to pour from a full cup and not an empty cup. Because when I was pouring from an empty cup, showing up for others more than myself, putting people's needs first over my own, getting into this vicious loop of self-sacrificing, volunteering as tribute, you name it, right? You literally become a crash out. Because you're constantly neglecting yourself, you're constantly letting yourself go, and you end up having this resentment with yourself. I feel like I started resenting myself for caring so much more about other people over myself, or putting people's needs above my own. Yeah, we all know that most of these tendencies come from a place of trauma, but I think for me, the people pleasing or pouring into people, for me, it just stemmed from they would do the same for me. I think I always just believe the good in people. I always think it has to be this way, do unto others. So I'm going to do the right thing to someone. And if it means me going all and out and showing up for them all the way, then yeah, that's what I'm going to do, because they're definitely going to do the same to me. I just have this, I don't think it's being naive, but then you just expect people to just be decent human beings, And I think last year for me was the first time I saw that, no, life doesn't work that way. No, that actually you need to put yourself first. You need to be selfish. You need to prioritize your needs, right? Without negatively affecting the next person, of course. But prioritize yourself, prioritize your needs, prioritize your health, your well-being, your safety, your security, all of those things, make yourself a priority in your life. Because not everybody is a good person, not everyone is as intentional, is as, caring, not everyone is like that. A lot of people in this world have malicious intent, you know? And I think it was just a hard lesson for me to learn. It's something I had to face the hard way. And I think I resented myself as well because I also felt like I let myself down, you know. I even lost myself. I feel like I didn't even know who I was anymore because every part of me or every piece of me was, taken by somebody else. And I was just on empty, you know. And the audacity that some people have to still want to take from you, even when you have nothing left. One thing about people, we need to understand that people are capable of being evil. I think that's something I just didn't believe it existed. You know how, like, in every superhero movie, there's always the villain? I never understood or believed that, like, there were villains out there like that. And I witnessed it for myself. And I just saw that, like, no, actually, this is why, you're supposed to guard your heart. Like, this is why you're supposed to do that. And I lost myself and I didn't know who I was as much anymore. Like, even some of the things, like, things to do with my identity, hobbies, things that I was once passionate about. Like, I literally had lost myself because everybody else, like I said, had parts of myself, and I had let go parts of myself, or I had given away parts of myself to people that were undeserving of that. And eventually, like in my previous episode where I spoke about how there are certain demons that you have to face alone, when I was now, like, dealing with those demons of myself, to be like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. What's the problem? I was reflecting and I was like, wait, I don't have proper boundaries, or too many people have access to me, or I don't know who I am, so I need to get to know myself again, like stuff like that. When I started doing the difficult inner work, that's when I saw that, wait a damn minute, I had so much self-negligence. And I guess what probed me to talk about this, I feel like because I was just reflecting as to where I was last year, and I was like, wait a damn minute, like, I'm doing so well right now, like, I'm proud of me, like, oh my God, like, I'm doing me right now. That's so crazy that, like, I've just been the main character of my life, the main character everywhere. I'm just making sure that I do not let other people's needs come first before mine. I've learned to say no. I've learned to say, wait, this doesn't work for me. This works for me. I'm looking out for myself more, even just being intentional with myself. And I know it's a very difficult thing to do. And it's even worse when you're not self-aware. But if you are, and if you're in this season, I guess my best advice is just for you to nip it in the bud as soon as possible. You don't want these problems to become, like, difficult to deal with in the future. Like, I feel like there are certain things that if you just start working on them early, they become very easy in your day-to-day life to deal with. Stop putting off things that you should work on. Stop. The things that you're putting off are causing a delay in a lot of things in your life. So don't put off certain things. I feel like if I hadn't started having these boundaries with people, like prioritizing myself, my mental health and everything, I wouldn't be feeling as good as I feel right now. I wouldn't be feeling happier. I wouldn't have recovered from a lot of things. So don't put off the things that you need to deal with. If you even know within yourself, like, nah, I need to work on this, I need to work on that, this is going to cause problems for me. If you're an introspective person, or if you have at least meditative, quiet time with yourself, when you do these reflections, like, don't ignore your own red flags. You can't afford to just be like, yeah, I'm a people pleaser, and you're a people pleaser. It's something you need to work on. It's something that's going to cause problems in the future, But you can't keep putting it off and just expecting that it will magically disappear, because guess what? It's going to stick again. It's going to stick for a very long time, honey. And by the time you want to work on it, it'll be very hard to shake off, because maybe you'll have more responsibility or less time to yourself. You'll be overworked or whatever, So when something nudges you to change it, because your future self will really be thankful for that intentionality you put, for your present self, I just wanted to say this to somebody, And thank you for listening consistently. I'm getting feedback, guys, Thank you so much, man. I'm really grateful. Y'all are keeping me going. It's getting the people going. I'm super grateful for every listener. It's not an easy thing to do, to talk like this, but it's a passion of mine. I'm truly, truly excited to pick up a mic anytime. And very soon I'll be in front of the camera. Trust me, very, very soon. So, yeah, enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend whenever you decide to listen to this. Be safe. Make good choices. And, yeah, see you, or we'll meet next time.